Okay. Yeah. I talk about
3A.
yeah.
3A.
Three. Okay.
Do you want to reply to that or
Reply for the Heiko side is that capitalism do not take over China economy. So I will talk about the international reasons. Why China rise? Because of the international reasons. China rise because of the China was founded with the support from the Soviet Union, Soviet bloc in 1949.
After Second World War.
Right? But communist China later diverged from its Soviet allies and reached reconciliation, political reconciliation with the United States in 1970s, right? And this reconciliation paved the way for China's integration into Western economy system. This reconciliation provides access to China for the international market, for the foreign investment, for the advanced technology, for the management practice, efficiency management practice. You know, when I was in China in the 1980s, 40 years before, China was a poor country.
Broke country.
The poor countries, you know, they have the planning economic system like Soviet Union. They planning everything. You don't have too much money. And I remember my parents, their salary in the 1980s, £5 a month. £5 a month. But if you get £5, you cannot buy anything. They have the ration system. They allocate everything, food, clothes, shoes, soap. Everything was allocated to each families. But the good thing is most of the family, they are relatively equal. They don't have the too rich people. They don't have the too poor people. They are similar. But some people they get a little bit richer because they have the different backgrounds. You know, they work for the government. They get more ration the coupons. Yeah, we are debating. We take
we take some questions
later. Yeah. So in that times, China have the big problem. The people cannot feed them the family. The children was get starved. They hungry. They don't have. In my children, the 30 years before, the 40 years before, like only in the Spring Festival, New Year, we can only get the new clothes, new shoes, nothing more. Whole year, nothing more.
So why did I come to the conclusions I was drawing? So in 1961, when the Berlin Wall was built, at that time, you could move freely from East to West Germany. There was no restriction whatsoever in movement. And at that time, the technological gap between East Germany and West Germany was about 1 year in television technology, in radio technology, in industrial technology. But when the Berlin Wall was built, a division broke out, much larger division, between the wealthiest capitalist countries and the technology that they had and the technologies in the Soviet bloc. It's true that there were some sectors of the economy in which the Soviets surpassed the West. Some areas of space technology in particular, but also in some industrial technologies. But the question then occurred in 1989 to me. I lived in East Berlin in 1989. I was there on the Berlin Wall when they removed the Berlin Wall, when they took it down on the 9th of November 1989. I lived in East Germany. And then when people saw the distinction between East and West, and they went across to West Berlin, they compared the productivity of labour and the quality of goods available in West Germany. And they said, we prefer West Germany. Because they got goods, they got services, they got commodities that we don't have. The peculiarity of it was this: many of the commodities that they had in West Berlin and they didn't have in East Berlin were produced in China or were produced in Vietnam. Some in Hong Kong, but there were many produced in China. I used to go to West Berlin to buy ingredients from shops in West Berlin to make Chinese food in East Berlin, even though East Berlin was a brother country of China. So how was this possible? It was because they did not allow private enterprise to operate at the periphery of the economy or at the sidelines of the economy. Now, you mentioned about the Soviet Union and the model that was established in the Soviet Union. In actual fact, that model was first established in 1928 to 1931 in the Soviet Union. In the period 1921 to 1928, they allowed private enterprise to operate around what was called the New Economic Policy, introduced by Lenin, in which the central areas of the economy, the commanding heights, were publicly owned, and sections of the economy were allowed to operate based on incentive and private ownership. And the state accumulated resources from the private sector, transferred to the state sector to allow for planning.
Very good.